Hi everyone. I would like to use the next 7 minutes to talk about a proposal in Vision on how Japan can accelerate climate tech deployment, and bringing speed and scale now. Before I begin, just a little introduction about who I am. Born and raised in Switzerland, Japanese by blood. I grew up surrounded by Swiss mountains and glaciers, and pursued my initial academic career in studying climatology and glaciology. My friends then said, "Tomo, you have the opportunity to go to Antarctica to study the Antarctic ice sheets, but they're going to all melt." And that's when I realized, if I pursue my academic interest in the study of ice sheets, I will be studying a dead discipline very soon. I then rapidly pivoted into the world of business to see how I could combine my love for climate and science together with business. So I moved on to management consulting and private equity. And in the past 4 years, I built a climate tech VC in Japan, investing in global climate tech companies. So anything from geothermal, carbon capture, long duration and short duration energy storage, methane monitoring. And the thesis was very simple: investing in globally leading technologies, bringing them to Japan, collaborating with industrial partners to help scale that technology, using Japan as an opportunity base. I've also worked with different Japanese government agencies to see how we could accelerate the Japanese ecosystem here. So I've seen all the challenges and the opportunities, and this is a synthesis of all of that. So as today we see a lot of news around geopolitical uncertainty and the importance of energy independence, Japan unfortunately is extremely dependent on foreign energy reserves. We only have an energy self-sufficiency of around 12-13%. But this doesn't mean that Japan is energy poor. This is an example of geothermal energy, where if you look at conventional geothermal, we have around 23 gigawatts of potential in this country. This is the third largest potential in the world. However, we've only penetrated only 0.6 gigawatts, versus the US that has close to 4 gigawatts. The irony here is that some of the biggest geothermal equipment providers, MHI, Fuji Electric, Toshiba, have nearly 70% of global market share. It's just we're deploying it abroad. And why are we not doing this here? People say, we love our onsens, we have our national parks, heavy legislation. But there are new technologies to address that. Closed-loop AGS is one of the technologies that doesn't depend on underground heat aquifers, where you can dig in a closed-loop system extracting heat. But again here, there's been a lot of interest from Japanese companies, and I was one of the investors into a Canadian company called Ever, together with a lot of Japanese partners. You see the logos. However, what's happening here is that we're using Japanese capital to invest in a Canadian company to do a first of a kind in South Germany. So again, an example of a lot of interest, a lot of appetite, but we're not doing it here. And to further extend this on a national security, energy security agenda, if you include supercritical geothermal, which is a super deep, high pressure geothermal, we have up to 77 gigawatts, if not more, energy here. So this should be a national priority. So can we transform such opportunity into something meaningful for Japan? This is a story about achieving speed and scale, but not just any speed and scale, but leveraging on Japan's strength. Japan seemingly has everything. We have world-class R&D, which is all around green pilots that we have more than 20% than the US and China. Patient corporate capital that can fuel the funding of this innovation. Engineering and manufacturing excellence. And Japan never really deindustrialized, so we have the production capabilities. And all of this supported by a government that is committed on this energy transition. However, compared to the US, where just climate tech VC activity alone in 2025 presented $29 billion, the whole VC ecosystem in Japan is only $5 billion. So we fall behind in generating new companies here, but we're also not attracting the very best globally to come here to do first of a kind, second of a kind. So my proposal is this: instead of trying to recreate an ecosystem from scratch, How about we bring the best technologies from all around the world, bring it to Japan, supercharge them with Japan's best talent, IP, and globally deployable talent, and then build better, faster. This is a principle around ARCS, Accelerated Readiness for Climate Solutions. It's funded upon the principle of the Kaizen Venture model, where we pick out the best technology in each of the sub-verticals in climate tech, put it through the so-called deployment OS, which I will describe later around the 4 modules, and funded upon the industrial partnerships that we have here. This is one of the true assets that we have in Japan that I think we need to leverage even more. The result is a Japanified tech, an improved version with all the IP and know-how that we've curated in this country that is globally relevant. And the deployment OS is consisted of 4 modules, one around permitting, accelerated permitting to build faster, a community playbook to engage the local communities, so this is things like onsen associations in the case of geothermal, a blended finance capital stack by design, so not only public but private and non-dilutive grants, and then a learning loop that makes this all repeatable across different industries, so not just in geothermal, but methane monitoring, long-duration energy storage, industrial heat, and carbon capture. So, building upon this Kaizen Venture model, I would love to discuss with today's group how we can build this together. I recently was told this mindset around SpaceX, called Green Lights to Malibu, about how perfect execution can lead to something great. In Japan, I feel like sometimes we're counting how many red lights there may be. So, red lights to Shibuya. This ARCS is founded on the principle of green lights and no barriers. Thank you.